Have you ever felt a shift in the air when your adult children are around? Maybe the lively conversations have been replaced by shorter answers. Or perhaps the guidance you once offered so freely isn't sought out anymore. Or worse, it feels dismissed entirely. It's a quiet ache many parents feel as their children grow into their own lives, a sense that maybe, just maybe, the easy respect that was once a given isn't quite there in the same way. It can feel like you've lost your footing a little, wondering how the dynamic changed and if you can ever get back to feeling truly seen and heard. Not just as a parent, but as a capable, wise individual. It hurts because you love them, and all you want is a connection that feels good for everyone. But what if the key to unlocking that respect again isn't about them changing, but about a few powerful shifts you can make in this video? We're going to explore 5 potent ways you can realign that relationship and foster a deeper, more mutual respect with your adult children. It's not about playing games or demanding anything. It's about cultivating a presence that naturally commands respect. Stay with me until the very end, because I have something really important to share that might just surprise you and perhaps change everything. Let's dive right in. The first powerful move, and perhaps one of the most challenging because it goes against decades of ingrained parenting habits, is learning to gracefully let go of the reins. Think about it. For so many years, your role was to guide, to protect, to advise, to make decisions, sometimes big ones, on their behalf. Your identity was deeply intertwined with being their manager, their captain, their problem solver. But now they are adults. They have their own lives, their own challenges, their own ways of doing things. Holding on to that old management role, even subtly, can feel intrusive or undermining to an adult child who is trying to navigate their world independently. This isn't about stopping caring. Far from it. It's about shifting how that care is expressed, instead of jumping in with solutions the moment they mention a problem, or offering unsolicited advice about their finances, their job, their relationships, or how they're raising your grandchildren. Take a step back. It requires a conscious effort to pause before offering advice. Ask yourself, did they specifically ask for my opinion or help? If the answer is no, then the most respectful thing you can do is often just listen. This letting go is like releasing a tightly held breath. It can feel scary at first. What if they make mistakes? What if they choose a path you don't agree with? These are valid fears rooted in love, but they also subtly communicate a lack of trust in their ability to figure things out. When you trust them, even when it's hard, you are showing them respect, and respect begets respect. So, practically, how does this look when they share a difficulty? Instead of launching into a list of things they should do, try saying something like, "That sounds really tough," or "I'm sorry you're dealing with that." Then, and this is the crucial part, stop talking. Create space for them to elaborate if they want, or just process. If you feel the urge to offer advice welling up, try asking an open-ended question instead. Like, how are you thinking about handling that? Or what options are you considering? This empowers them and shows you value their thinking process, rather than assuming you know best. Another aspect of this is respecting their decisions. Even when they clash with your own values or preferences, maybe they've chosen a career path you don't understand, or they're raising their children differently than you raised yours, or their lifestyle choices are far from what you envisioned. It's okay to have your own feelings about these things, but expressing disapproval or constantly questioning their choices can create distance and resentment. It sends a message that their judgment isn't good enough. Instead, try to understand their perspective. Ask curious questions, not judgmental ones. What drew you to that field? Or can you tell me more about why you chose that approach with the kids? Even if you still don't fully agree, showing genuine interest in their reasoning is a powerful act of respect. It acknowledges their autonomy and their right to make their own way in the world. This shift from manager to supportive consultant, available when called upon but not hovering or directing, is fundamental. It shows your adult child that you see them as a competent adult, capable of navigating their own life, and that respect is the bedrock upon which a new mature relationship can be built. This leads beautifully into the second powerful move: cultivating a vibrant, fulfilling life of your own. This might seem counterintuitive. You might think spending more time with your children or being more available to them would earn their respect. But often, the opposite is true. When your adult children sense that your happiness and sense of purpose are heavily dependent on them, their calls, their visits, their approval, it can feel like a heavy burden. It can inadvertently push them away, as they may feel guilty when they can't meet those unspoken needs, or they may resent the pressure. Conversely, when you are actively engaged in your own interests, friendships, hobbies, or perhaps even a new pursuit, you radiate independence and vitality. You become a fascinating person in your own right, not just mom or dad waiting by the phone. This independence is incredibly attractive and commands respect. Think about the people you respect most in your own life. They likely have passions, boundaries, and a life that doesn't revolve solely around others. You admire their energy and self-sufficiency. The same applies to your children's perception of you. When they see you learning a new skill, volunteering, traveling, enjoying your friends, or simply pursuing something that brings you joy, they see you as a whole person with your own identity and value. This frees them from feeling solely responsible for your well-being and allows them to connect with you on a different level, adult to adult. It gives you interesting things to talk about beyond their lives. It creates a sense of mutual independence, where time spent together is a positive choice, a bonus, rather than an obligation or a necessity for your happiness. This isn't about neglecting your family. It's about enriching your own life so that your interactions with them come from a place of fullness, not neediness. It's about demonstrating through your actions that you are capable, interesting, and fulfilled, regardless of how much attention or validation you receive from them. This self-respect, this commitment to your own flourishing, is perhaps one of the most magnetic qualities you can possess. And it will naturally draw respect towards you. It shifts the dynamic from one where you might be perceived as needing something from them, to one where you are offering the gift of your presence, your experience, and your independent spirit. Now, building on that idea of cultivating your own life and respecting their autonomy, we move to the third powerful move: refining your communication style. This is massive. We often fall into old communication patterns with our children, patterns established when they were young and our roles were different. These might include giving unsolicited advice, interrupting, dismissing their feelings, or reverting to a tone that feels patronizing or critical, even if unintentional. When you're seeking respect from an adult, communication needs to be a two-way street based on mutual regard. This means listening, truly listening, without formulating your response while they're still talking. It means hearing their perspective, even if you don't agree with it, and acknowledging it. Phrases like, "It sounds like you're feeling really stressed about that," or, "I hear you saying that this decision is important to you because," show that you are actively trying to understand their world, rather than just imposing your own viewpoint onto it. It also means expressing your own feelings and needs respectfully, without resorting to blame or guilt trips. Instead of saying, "You never call me," which puts them on the defensive, try expressing your feeling and your need. "I miss connecting with you regularly. I'd love it if we could schedule a quick chat sometime next week." This expresses your desire without accusing them of failing you. It opens the door for a constructive conversation, rather than shutting it down with criticism. Another key aspect of respectful communication is knowing when not to communicate. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. When they share something you find upsetting or concerning, Your initial reaction might be to jump in, to fix, to admonish. But pausing, taking a breath, and considering whether your input is truly needed or helpful in that moment is crucial. Is this a situation where they just need to vent? Or are they genuinely asking for help? Learn to discern the difference. If they just need to vent, your role is listener and comforter, not advisor or judge. Think about how you communicate with your friends or colleagues whom you respect. You likely listen attentively, value their opinions, express your own thoughts clearly and respectfully, and handle disagreements with maturity. Aim for that same standard with your adult children. It requires conscious effort, especially when emotional buttons are pushed, but it fundamentally changes the nature of the interaction. It elevates the relationship from parent-child dynamic to one between two adults capable of mature, respectful dialogue. This includes respecting their privacy. Don't pry into areas they don't volunteer information about. Don't share things they've told you in confidence with other family members or friends. Trust is a huge component of respect, and respecting their privacy builds that trust. It shows them you see them as an independent individual with their own private life, not an extension of yourself whose every move is open for discussion. This shift in communication, prioritizing listening, expressing needs without blame, and respecting boundaries around sharing is a cornerstone of building mutual respect. Moving forward. The fourth powerful move is closely linked to respecting their autonomy, offering support when asked, rather than unsolicited intervention or imposing your help. As a parent, your instinct is likely to help your children whenever and however you can. You see them struggling, and you want to swoop in and make it better. This comes from a place of deep love. However, for an adult child, constant, unrequested help can feel like you don't believe in their ability to handle things on their own. It can feel disempowering. Instead of automatically offering solutions or stepping in to fix things, wait. Wait to be asked. This requires patience and trust in their resilience and problem-solving abilities. When they do ask for help, whether it's financial, practical, or emotional, you have the opportunity to offer support in a way that is truly helpful to them, based on their needs, not your assumptions. For example, if your child is struggling with a home repair, your first thought might be to just go over and do it yourself, but a more respectful approach might be to say, "It sounds like you're having trouble with that. Is there anything I can do to help?" They might say, "Actually, could you just lend me that specific tool you have? Or, could you watch the kids while I tackle it? Or, could you just talk me through the first step?" By waiting for their specific request, you are empowering them to identify their own needs and accepting their agency in the situation. You are offering support as a resource, not taking over as the rescuer. This applies to financial help too. If you are in a position to help financially, consider doing so in a way that supports their independence, perhaps a loan with agreed-upon terms if appropriate, or a gift for a specific goal they are working towards, rather than just open-ended enabling that might hinder their financial maturity. The key is that the support is offered from a place of wanting to assist their efforts, not replace their efforts. This demonstrates faith in their capabilities, which is a profound form of respect. It shows them you believe they are competent and capable, and that you are there to offer a hand if and when they need it and ask for it. On their terms, this willingness to let them navigate their own challenges, while standing ready to support, strengthens their confidence and, in turn, their respect for you as someone who believes in them. Finally, the fifth powerful move, and perhaps the most crucial for truly gaining respect, is setting and maintaining healthy boundaries. This is often the hardest one for parents because boundaries can feel selfish or like you're pushing your children away. But boundaries are not walls. They are fences that protect the integrity of the relationship and your own well-being. They teach others how you are available to be treated and interacted with. If you are always available, always saying yes, always dropping everything to attend to their needs or demands, you are inadvertently teaching them that your time, energy, and needs are less important than theirs. This does not foster respect. It fosters reliance and potentially entitlement. Setting boundaries is about communicating what you are and are not available for, respectfully but firmly. This could be about your time. I'm not available for calls after 9 p.m. Or Wednesdays are my days for my painting class, so I can't help with childcare then. It could be about your energy. I love listening, but I can't engage in conversations where I'm being yelled at. Or I'm happy to help you process, but I can't constantly fix your problems for you. It could be about finances. I can help with X, but I can't afford to cover Y. Or, I believe it's important for you to manage your own budget, so I won't be able to lend you money for non-essentials. Setting boundaries requires courage, especially if your children are used to you having few or no boundaries. There might be pushback, hurt feelings, or even accusations of not caring. This is where maintaining the boundary calmly and consistently is key. You are not being mean. You are teaching them how to have a healthy relationship with you. You are modeling self-respect. When you respect yourself enough to set and maintain boundaries, you are showing your children that you value your own needs and limits. This is a powerful lesson, and it implicitly teaches them to value your needs and limits as well. It shifts the dynamic from one of potential exploitation, even unintentional, or expectation to one of mutual respect for individual autonomy. Boundaries define the space where healthy relationships can flourish. Without them, relationships can become entangled, resentful, and ultimately, less respectful. By clearly and kindly communicating your limits, you are establishing the terms of a mature, adult relationship. You are saying, I love you, and I want to be in your life, but I'm also an individual with my own needs and limits, and I expect to be treated with respect for those. This act of self-respect is the foundation upon which regaining or strengthening their respect for you is built. It's not about control. It's about self-preservation and teaching others how to value you by showing them you value yourself. So, we've talked about letting go of the need to control or manage, about building your own rich and independent life, about communicating with active listening and respectful expression, about offering support when asked rather than intervening, and finally, about the absolute necessity of setting and maintaining healthy boundaries. These aren't just small adjustments. They are powerful shifts in perspective and behavior. They require courage, patience, and a willingness to change long-held patterns. But here's the surprising thing I wanted to share with you at the end. The thing that ties all of these moves together and is perhaps the most powerful realization of all gaining respect from your adult children isn't ultimately about making them respect you. It's about you cultivating self-respect and living your life in a way that is authentic, independent, and honors your own value. When you focus on building a life that fulfills you. When you communicate honestly and respectfully while listening deeply. When you trust them to navigate their own challenges, even if they stumble. When you clearly define how you are available by setting boundaries. You are demonstrating your own inherent worth and dignity. You are showing up as a whole, capable, interesting person who is living life on their own terms. That kind of presence naturally commands respect from everyone around you, including your children. You are no longer seeking their approval or validation to feel good about yourself. Your value comes from within. This fundamental shift in energy, from needing their respect to embodying self-respect, is what truly changes the dynamic. It's not about demanding respect. It's about living in a way that makes disrespect feel out of place. It's about being the calm, centered, independent parent they can admire and confide in because you're not trying to fix them, manage them, or depend on them for your happiness. You are simply being you, fully and unapologetically. This journey might not be easy. There will be moments of doubt, moments when you slip back into old habits, moments of misunderstanding. Be gentle with yourself. This is a process of growth for you as well as a transformation for the relationship. But the potential rewards are immense. A relationship with your adult children built on mutual respect, understanding, and genuine affection, where time together is a pleasure, not a source of tension. A relationship where you are seen and valued for the wise, experienced individual you are, beyond the role of active parent, and perhaps most importantly, a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment within yourself, knowing you are living authentically and honoring your own needs. Remember, small shifts can have profound impacts. Start with one move that resonates most with you. Practice it consistently. Observe the subtle changes. This isn't about a quick fix. It's about building a new foundation for your relationship. If you found this helpful, or if any of these points resonated with you, please share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. I read every single one, and it's wonderful to build this community of support. And if you'd like more content on navigating life after 60 with confidence, grace, and joy, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us reach more people who might need to hear this message. Thank you for spending this time with me. Keep living your best life at every age.